The second issue that we have is our fee to run Lot 3. We started out at 15%, we dropped it to 10%, we dropped it to 5%. It's still not good enough. I've been told by Annette and our staff that 15% is what will cover our costs. We have a conference call Friday to address it. One of the issues the city wants to do is see what happens and then revisit it in 2 years. I don't think that's enough time, and I think that we've seen negotiations with them don't always go quickly, and it's just too soon. So I will have more to report after next Friday. Any questions or comments? I'm glad we're down to one issue.
Two. Or the parking is, I guess, resolved
We
Parking-
think.
once we,
We think.
We think.
I mean, it's just not necessary to have that conversation with them now. Well, we just don't know. Okay, now for happier things, Sunset Valley Golf Course updates. Well, it's got Ryan and Brian to
Yep.
present.
Good evening. We'll give you a quick
All right.
update on the clubhouse, and then we'll show some pictures of the golf course, and you can see where that's at. I think you've all seen the clubhouse, obviously. We opened in August for our first on the turf fundraiser golf tournament on the 17th, which was, I think, a great success, and open to the public on the 18th, the day after, and we've, as far as the clubhouse goes, clubhouse and the course, but for the clubhouse, we've gotten really nothing but positive reviews. People love the space. People like that they can come there even when they're not playing golf, and they stay to enjoy after their rounds. So it's been great. We do still have a little bit of a punch list that remains. We've had some issues with the HVAC that they've been working on, so we're pretty close. We think we're going to hopefully have that fixed. We've had both hot and a little bit of not cold, but mild temperatures. So it's usually when it gets really hot we've had the issues, but they're fixing that. And the biggest thing probably that's noticeable is there's supposed to be a door that goes into the supervisor's office so that they can have some privacy while they're working. Right now it's just an open space, and that's planned to be put in on Wednesday. So other than that, from a financial standpoint, the financials were in the board packet, and July was obviously very significant. And the last few weeks in August, there were quite a bit of change orders that went through. So we're actually we're still reviewing those change orders from August, and so we still have one more payout that probably won't go through until October at this point, because we haven't finished everything, and we're still reviewing those change orders and that final payout. So we do have a 10% of the guaranteed maximum contract sum we can retain until the punch list is completed as well. So hopefully that will be completed by the end of the month. But we are planning to spend almost every penny of what we had budgeted, but within budget. So we're pleased with that, and we certainly believe it was a very good community investment, and people are enjoying it. So, any questions about the clubhouse before we go into the course? We have some photos. As you know, we had a flood a few weeks back.
So a couple weeks ago, we had 7.2 inches of rain for the week.
Literally.
When the water table gets that high, it floods onto Sunset Valley, which is what we're supposed to do because we take that water for the community so it doesn't go into the neighborhoods that are adjacent to the property. So when that happens, it goes where it's supposed to go, and this is shows the front half of 7 fairway into 10 fairway. This shows 2 fairway into 5 fairway. And then this is after it recedes, unfortunately we're left with some silt that is left on the fairway, and we have to go out there and kind of wash that off. It's kind of adding more water to the areas just to kind of get it off, to just try to get the plant to survive.
How long did it take for the water to recede in the picture on the left? A day?
In between 24 and 48 hours.
Hmm.
So, which is pretty fast if you really think about it. It gets off there pretty fast. And before, we never had that drain line that went through there. So
drain
that was
lines-
an investment that we put in.
The drain lines work?
And all the drain lines work, everything.
And where
drains
does
off.
the drain line go if the rivers are, that's,
That's the thing.
yeah,
They don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
that's,
We got to wait till the
You don't
water
wanna
table
know.
goes down below
You
the
don't
drain
wanna
line to
Goes
get
to
up.
Hidden Creek, Terry.
Yeah.
it goes to, it goes to,
And unfortunately, it seems like the rain events just keep getting worse
Yeah.
and worse every year for some reason. I last Liza that I can remember it being this bad, and they
well,
just
we've said it a
can't.
bunch of times, that every year there's a 100-year flood.
Yeah,
No, I know.
exactly.
Last year it was July.
Yeah, last year was
This year
July.
it was
But
or
at least we were
September.
prepared for it this
Yeah,
year
we were
without
prepared,
all the
and
dates and
you know, I look at this now, and I look what's happening in North Carolina, South Carolina. They're getting 30 inches, so I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
7.2. This is nothing.
everything.
So we had a few areas that were a little thin, and we reseeded those right away, right as soon as it got dry. So in a couple weeks, these areas will recover. We sodded a few spots around drains, and like I said, in a couple weeks, this will all be better. So it's really just cosmetic damage. I mean, from a playability standpoint, you can still play off of it. You just, you know, it's very small spots that you really, when you look at a 100-acre property, it might be less than a half acre that was damaged.
Well, that's good.
Um,
That's a good result.
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at it that way, it's really minimal from that standpoint.
This picture.
I got to tell you too about the warnings that we were getting.
Draft one?
I like that you
Yeah.
alerted the community, and it turned out to be not as bad as, like I was expecting.
Yeah.
Highland Park Country Club bad.
Yeah, and it's
But
not
when I got there, it was like, oh, this isn't really that bad at all.
exactly compared to the other courses in the area. I know, you know, the course right across the street, Bob and Link, they're closed these 4 days to reseed.
We could push our water onto their property.
That's what I was
Exactly. Yeah.
Get some pumps.
So before we opened, Jeff Cohen, our fantastic photographer, came out and took some
That's
photos
gorgeous.
before we opened. So this is number 2, looking,
Oh, yeah, over the
standing up
hill.
Tom on the
Yeah.
fescue, looking down at the
That's
hole.
nice.
Yeah, that's-
Really nice.
This is last week.
No, this is
This
right before we opened.
Oh, okay. But the other
That's
one with Ozzy
gorgeous.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah.
can tell there's no divots. missing.
This is number 9, looking
Plus
up
he
towards the
knows how to
clubhouse.
manage the lighting.
Yeah, he knows. He's
And
very,
sunlight
very
and-
talented.
That's a nice picture too.
This is number 9, looking back up to the clubhouse. 13. So this was expanded. Actually, what's weird is it actually looks like we have white sand there.
Yeah.
We don't?
No.
Sort of grayish.
This is 14, the par 3, kind of from the right-hand side, that angle looking at it. 18, looking at it. And to me, this picture gives like a New England type feel. You have like
Links.
a Lynx, New England. You have like with the clubhouse in the back. And then this is this past week, Ozzy Guillen was out
Yeah.
on Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday playing golf. And that was him.
I thought he was
Tuesday.
gonna wear a Cub hat.
We did. We were selling Cubs here.
Oh, was this for the Champions Banquet?
Correct,
It was
yep.
one of
Yeah.
the prizes?
Yep,
And he
yep.
met with people? That's right.
Tuesday he was there.
Tuesday, yep.
Yeah.
Tuesday he was there. And he had a blast.
What? Yeah.
What did he shoot?
I played a little hooky.
I don't know.
I
I didn't ask him.
Yeah, I didn't ask him either.
Chris would know.
302, .302.
Oh,
was it?
that's good.
Point.
Any questions?
No mas.
I've been going with other people.
Yep.
And is there a place for suggestions or for the things that they brought up to me? Like, how do you want to?
Yeah, so we're going to put actually a suggestion box spot in the pro shop.
Oh, good.
So if anybody has any suggestions, one thing we did, I mentioned the yardage markers are out, so they were put out today. we got them in on Friday, and we got some of them out, but we finished it today. And then water coolers, we have them on holes. So basically, you're going to have points of contact for water after every iron. And so you brand our logo on each individual tee markers. It's a very expensive way to do it, and we can make them ourselves in-house.
Are you
This
talking
winter.
about the CDGA plate?
No, I think he's talking
You
about
know
our tee
about
markers.
Yeah, they're
Our plastic tee markers. the
plastic tee
upgraded.
marker.
Oh,
Instead of
I'm
balls?
sorry. Okay. I
No.
was thinking about the T signs.
No, the team.
Yeah, but seeing
When-
it
and
for-
that's the CDA, when you said that, then I went to the plates.
Before the work, yeah. that's
Before the
what I said,
work, I
historical.
think we would have lost 2 more days because the water would not.
Do you
Uh,
remember in July of last year, when we had those, I mean,
Yeah.
it was 6 inches,
Yeah, it
how
was
many
crazy.
days were we down then? Do you remember that? Because that.
I want to say we lost
It
the
was a
whole
week.
week.
But
from
last year
work.
we were
But we were in construction.
we were-
That's
we were
right,
at the
forget
country
it.
club last year.
were
We didn't care if
closed.
it.
Yeah, you're right. I take back my,
But
I
but
take
that's where,
back.
that's
that
where
was
I
it.
waded thigh-high water to the rec center just to make sure nothing got damaged,
Right.
yes.
And I'll be
So
honest.
so you're saying, I'm sorry.
We could have opened on
Yeah.
Thursday,
This is what I was
but
thinking.
I chose to hold off because I didn't want to present the golf course when it's still, doesn't look the way I want it to look. So I said, let's just be patient. Let's hold off another day. But all the water was drained off within 48 to 36 hours.
And everybody was closed that day.
Yeah, everybody was closed. Everybody was closed. Most people didn't. If they did open, they should have stayed closed.
Well, our draining is a function of downstream.
Correct.
But what I'm hearing is that the recovery time once it drains is half of what it used to be, if not even.
Yes, it's probably close to half. And the other thing is we got a lot more water north of us too, as well that week.
Is that you guys done? Okay,
Done.
then I have a couple things, if I could, Brian.
Sure.
Okay.
For these guys?
So, no, for these two.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so what would you think about the first on the turf? I know that was a one-time deal. What if we did that, well, commissioners too, especially Terry, because of our foundation. What if we did that, what if that was an annual event? And it was like First on the Turf 2019, where we opened it up so people can have that first crack before the season starts?
The only downside of that is weather is so iffy when golf season starts that it's hard to plan an outing.
Okay, because I thought that was really neat. People get a kick out of being
I think it's a great
first.
idea if we start in April.
Or
What do we-
May.
Or May, yeah.
Or June.
Okay, but you can't know. There's no way to know.
I love that idea,
Mm-hmm.
and to expand on that, I think what would be great is if we could do like a First on the Turf, kind of like a Parks Foundation golf outing that benefits junior golf, and we do that every year. And we can, whatever proceeds we get from that, we can invest into the junior golf program at Sunset Valley.
And then the other thing is for the course is beautiful, but it's extremely intimidating to new golfers, such as myself, And when speaking to someone at the event, they said there's another park district that has something like after hours. It's like the last opportunity to go out and play some holes where in this group, I believe they're mainly women, but that doesn't have to necessarily be the case, where they go out and play and a pro comes with them. So, it just gives them the opportunity to play without having real golfers who can be extremely impatient, and I think that will help us with, creating just like I said, a less intimidating environment to play so that golfers can work up to playing during prime hours. But, I think that might be something that would be helpful. I know that keeps me from it. I love going to the range, though. That's like my new thing. Do you guys see that picture I sent you? I'm like addicted to see how far I can. But at some point, it's just because
So you go to these, what they call a par 3 golf course, where everybody's bad. And so, and so I think you have to get good at that, and then you want to hop on a course like this too. But I think the self-guided, having a coach there.
yeah, good to know.
It's
And like I
good
said,
too.
not a whole, like three holes. I mean, I don't mean a full blown, but just so they can get the experience and enjoy what their tax money goes to. That's all.
And then also, real quick, do a little self-promote. We have the 9 and Dine this Friday night. If anybody wants to sign up, come play.
And done.
Yeah,
It starts at like 6, right?
5 o'clock.
Oh, at 5.
5 o'clock.
Get your golf.
9 holes and then dinner following.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Annette?
I don't usually sit for this one. Good evening, everybody. Bills presented for the board's review on September 17th were checks written from August 24th through September 12th, totaling $1,264,947. I know you guys reviewed them. Is there any questions, any concerns?
Yes, I do have a concern, and it's something we talked about. It has nothing to do with what we're paying now, but we were going to look into energy audit, energy savings, and I know at some point we're gonna have you guys reporting back to us about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing, it's not a comment on the bills per se, but it triggered in my mind that we were gonna look into that one.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's time. If someone from the public would like to address the board, yes, sir. If you'll come up and give your name and address, we'll be more than happy to listen.
Hello, Andrew Marwick, 442 Coburn in Deerfield. If there was as much of a breeze in the rec center over the elliptical machines as there is where I was sitting over there, I wouldn't be here tonight. One of the main reasons I come to the Recreation Center of Highland Park is it's a much more up-to-date, better environment facility than what Deerfield has in the multiplex with all their equipment, track everything out in one of the, I don't know if you're familiar with it, it's all out in an old indoor tennis court that really wasn't designed to be air conditioned. Recently in the upgrade or whatever the maintenance period in August, they changed the fan configuration. I had discussed many times with both Mitch and with Debbie. Being with a D, with Debbie, in terms of the fans and how they were two in pairs and tied together, and that there's some senior citizens who don't like. And I've talked to them many times before this August about how they could be adjusted. And my understanding before that was that they would just simply uncouple the fans and then have individual controls so that they could be turned off for some of the senior citizens who primarily use the new steps, any breeze, when I'm on the elliptical machines. And I don't know if I've talked to Mitch about it since then. I think I did briefly. I've talked to Debbie several times, and she basically says nothing can be done until August. I was wondering if the board could look into it and see if either the maintenance staff could move one of the fans or somehow come up with enough budgeting to purchase. I don't know how expensive they are. She made some statements of how expensive they are. I'm not sure again. But come up with something to either move one of the fans. It's actually the only machine that's under a fan is the new step machine, which is exactly the people who don't want the breeze. So I was hoping that the board could come up with something and talk to Debbie and Mitch about it and come up with some solution of getting it over the ellipticals and some of the arc trainers and things that people like that work out more heavily than some of the senior citizens who like to go at a slow pace. So I was just wondering if that could be, because it's been very difficult because they get hot and even just working out this, I was there today, just working out on the strength machines, they kind of get sweated up in there, and it just really gets heated up when I'm on the elliptical. One other issue that I guess since I'm here I'll bring up is what hours the recreation center is crowded. And as you probably all know, that from about 8:30 in the morning until about 10:30 roughly, it is every day of the week. It's not only weekdays, it's weekends. The crowd comes in, especially after they drop off their kids at school. They come over and then they go to their classes, and so that it's very, very crowded from roughly 8:30 up until 10:30 or 11. I was just there the last two evenings, and at 5 o'clock to 5:45 it was pretty slow there. And one of the problems is on the holidays, so there seems to be a really strong peak. And on the holidays they open at 5 a.m., like on Labor Day or whatever holiday it happens to be, even Thanksgiving, they're changing the holiday hours.
I will follow up with Mitch and Debbie.
Okay.
Section 2C11, litigation against or on behalf of the district. And Section 2C21, discussion of minutes lawfully closed under the review of the minutes as set forth in Section 2.06 of the Act. I so move. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Can you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Flores Weisskopf,
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg,
Aye.
Vice President Runtenberg,
Yes?
President Kaplan.
Aye. Show that we're adjourned at 6:27, and we are now in closed session. What?
Easy breezy.
Easy is good.
What is the name of that couple? You know